Warning, the following audio transmission will forever change your outlook on society. You will no longer believe the narrative. You are about to wake up and see things for what they really are. News, facts, and opinions. This is the Doom Daily Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Doom Daily Show. I am your host, Jester Dooms. Don't forget to give the show a follow. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Give me that once a week human interaction. Share the show with somebody in your real life, IRL. All right, don't forget the email, doomdailyshow@gmail.com, the website, www.jestersvoice.com. You know, ladies and gentlemen, you know, you can also find me everywhere on social media at Jester Dooms. Okay. I really got to give it to producer Scooter for promoting the show as much as he does on his show. So I have to return the favor. So later I'm going to give Scooter a reach around. Outside of that, you guys should be checking out the Beans and Weenies show on Podbean, Rumble, Facebook, all the places. Sometimes every Wednesday. Sometimes. So go check that out since he does such a good job. I think he runs a commercial over the show anyway, so I really don't think it matters. Anyway, I hope everybody is having a lovely Thursday. I hope your day is going fantastic. I hope your coffee is hot and flavored just right. What makes a morning really suck is not having that cup of coffee the way you want it. That's why I make all my coffee on my own usually in the morning. But you ever have those mornings like where it's like somebody used your last bit of your favorite coffee creamer or the last bit of milk, or you didn't have the sweetener you wanted, or just something, and it's like, man, like the day's off. And it usually works out. It usually pans out and it's fine. But doesn't that suck? Like when you wake up and you have a morning and you're like, oh man, it's going to go exactly the way I want it to go. And then it just doesn't. It sucks. Anyway, so hope that the coffee is good. I hope the traffic is great. I'll be out doing my running around here shortly, dropping off the kiddos in their different various locations that they go and hide at throughout the day. There's like one intersection in town I know I'm going to get into a wreck at. Like, I know it's coming. I know it's going to happen. It's only a matter of time. I've consistently ran this red light. I get stuck in the box. I've almost been hit by other cars. Like, there is one intersection in our town where I'm going up a hill and it's into the rising sun. So you cannot see the lights at all. So typically what you do is you have to go with the flow of traffic because you cannot see the light. You can't tell if it's green, red, yellow. You can't tell. So everybody just kind of goes with the flow of traffic. And I was doing this about 2 days ago and almost got creamed by a truck. Okay. So I'm just waiting for that damn cringe, and I know it's going to happen at that intersection. And there's other times where I'm like, okay, traffic's moving, and everybody slams on their brakes because they just realize they're running the red light. So it's a very, very bad intersection. And I know I wouldn't be the first person to call in to the city and complain about it, or call the DOT and complain about it. I know I wouldn't be the first, but so far it doesn't look like there's anything they want to do to try to fix it. I mean, I remember in certain places I live, like more heavy populated areas, like heavy traffic areas, they actually have shades on the back of the traffic lights, like wide square shades, so that you're not being blinded by the sun trying to see the light, and so that you can at least make out what's going on. But it's potentially a problem, and I think that I'm going to have to consistently go a different way in the morning, just so I don't end up getting into an accident at this light. But anyway, I hope you're not. I say all that to say that I hope you're not going to have any situations like that this morning. Okay, that's all. Moving on. What do I have planned for today? I'm trying to think. Get the kids where they need to go. I have a recording session I have to do here in a little while. Outside of that, I plan on making a trip down to like a hardware store. At some point, I got to pick something up. I'm going to get into that on the show. And pretty much just piss around on the homestead. Today would typically be a day off for my wife, and we'd be at home bumping some serious uglies, but that's not going to be a thing today because she has to work. So I will be, I guess, bumping my own ugly, I guess is how that's going to work out. I'm not happy about it. If my wife was listening, sweetheart, I'm not happy about this. Okay, I'm just not. Trying to think what else. Weather permitting, hopefully the block guy will be back here today. We'll get into a little bit more of the homestead stuff on today's show. And, do the casual routine of going and rounding everybody up at the end of the day is going to be fantastic. And that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a fantastic Thursday. You're one more day closer to the weekend. I know that's what we all live for. Except in my house, the weekends don't matter. I prefer the weekdays, to be honest. I have lived my life I've worked my life living for the weekends, and I'm not about it. It's a fucking scam. We talk about this on the show all the time, but it is a scam. Okay. Oh, and for those of you out there that are finally coming back to listen, I'm going to tell you something. I know when you're not listening. You know how I know? Because you come into social media and I tell you stories and you're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you clearly didn't listen to the fucking show today. So if you're going to take the time to pop into the TikTok lives and stuff, you better be listening to the show, because you're not keeping up, man. Like there's a bunch of you out there that are like, oh, I didn't know that. It's like, because you're not listening to the Doom Daily Show. Because you're not listening. Shame on you. Anyway, we'll be right back after these messages. Producer Scooter, if you would, hit that button, sir.
Need a break from reality? Well, sometimes I do too, and the place I go to take that break is the Beans and Weenie Show. Check out Scooter and Spanky on Wednesday nights at 6:30 Central Standard Time on Rumble. You can find the link at linktree.com/BWD Crew. The Beans and Weenie Show, where chaos and common sense wage war and you get a front row seat.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Doom Daily Show. I am your host, Jester Dooms. The email, doomdailyshow@gmail.com. Everywhere on social media at Jester Dooms. The website, www.jestersvoice.com. Okay. So let's talk about first why I have to go to the hardware store today. I, yesterday, royally pissed off people within my county on Facebook. And I think it's fucking fantastic. Okay, so the whole story I talked about on yesterday's show about the neighbor with the cabin and the transient population, there's got to be a creative way to deal with the homeless, like to keep them off your property. There has to be something creative. And my thing is, I'm thinking in my head, like, I know the laws, I know the rules, I know the regulations. I know what I can do legally and I know what I can't do, right? Like, I know what steps I need to take. I know the fucking laws, all right? Like, I'm not a moron. But I also know that when it comes to trespass laws, simply passing through someone's land comes with a warning, and the second time a charge potentially, depending on the excuse that they have of why they're there and how that law enforcement officer feels at the time, okay? And it's really hard to get like a felony trespass placed on somebody when they're just walking through the fucking woods. It's almost impossible. Like, they would have to walk through the woods, steal something of really high value, damage a shit ton of shit along the way, and then boom. Then you might get them with felony trespass. Say if I had a transient person, they walk up through my woods, they come upon a shed, they take a crowbar to the lock, the hinges, they rip the shed door open, and they steal an ATV and a handful of other things. Okay, now I might get them with a felony trespass along with theft and all kinds of other things, but do you see what else it's coupled with to get to that point? So say I have this homeless person, say his name's Jim. When Jim's coming through and I catch I catch Jim and I'm like, I call the sheriff. He comes out. He says, Jim, we're going to trespass you from this property. The first time is pretty much a warning. All right. Where he knows he's been trespassed. He knows he's not allowed to come back. Okay. That's one phone call, one instance. He may or may not come back, but he's not getting charged. Okay. Second time Jim shows up, I call the login. A deputy comes out. Hey, Jim, we told you not to be here. Now we're charging you. Let's go. Still very minor offense. The third time, same thing. Fourth time, same thing. Maybe the fifth time, they finally hit this guy with a harder charge, and he gets locked up for a little while, and he thinks twice about coming back. And he's not my problem anymore. He knows to stay away from that property. Now, imagine you've got 5 individual accounts, 5 individual phone calls per transient to get something done. 10 individuals is 50 instances, 50 phone calls to get it to stop. Now imagine when it's 20, imagine when it's 30, imagine when it's 40, imagine when it's 100. Do you get what I'm saying? Like how much work it would be to secure a property? So I take to the Facebook because I said, where do you go? Where do you go? You go to the source. You talk to people within your community. So I get on the Facebook and I post this little picture and I put this thing and I said, hey, does anybody have any creative way to keep the bums off their land that is legal? And by God, did I stir up the hornet's nest. People went the fuck off. And the shit that they were saying in the comment section was absolutely wild. Well, maybe if you'd feed them and offer them a ride, they wouldn't come back. I'm sorry, what? So I give them a free meal in a ride wherever they want to go. And that's going to be encouragement for them not to come back? If somebody was giving me free food and rides, I think I'd come back. Then it went into situations like, oh, the problem is not that bad. Yeah, the fuck it is. The neighbor's cabin was just tore apart from, door kicked in, siding ripped off, like torn apart. Okay. Then somebody said something like they just need to find Jesus and they'll be okay. I'm like, I don't think that's who they're looking for. Not saying a little bit of Jesus wouldn't do them some good, but that's not who they're looking for. And then I had someone say something to the effect of, well, it is the church's fault because they're perpetuating it. They're feeding them. They're clothing them. They're making it comfortable for them to be in the area. No, that ain't what it is. It's not what it is. And I had people say some really outlandish things too. Play Baby Shark on repeat. Get a shit ton of mean, well-trained dogs. Put up electric fences. Like just the list goes on and on and on and on and on. And what can very easily happen is you could turn a seemingly innocent, I'm going to protect myself situation into a big ass lawsuit against yourself. Okay. So say I put up an electric fence, one that's got a good bite to it. And I have my trespassing signs out and I have warning signs up saying warning, electric fence, blah, blah, blah. And some dude happens to be coming through there at night and it's raining and he's wet and he just so happens to have a pacemaker. And say that he goes to climb over my fence and he grabs that wire and it lights his ass up and he's on the ground, DED, dead. Because that electric fence fucked up. He was wet enough, there was enough juice, it fucked up that pacemaker. Put him into AFib or some shit, he didn't make it out. Whatever the case may be. So he drops dead. Family sues me for whatever they could find. And it could be something as very simple as, well, he was down there at night and those signs weren't illuminated. So that's why he grabbed the electric fence because he couldn't see the signs because it was dark and the signs weren't illuminated. And, a jury or, a judge or somebody would be like, yeah, that's reasonable. How could he see the signs at night if they weren't properly illuminated? Now he's dead because this guy didn't take the time to illuminate his signs that are 700 feet away from his house in the woods. And they would win. And then my ass would be in a sling because I tried to protect what is mine. Now, this guy's family, who didn't take care of their bum uncle or whoever the guy was, is now sitting fat and pretty off my pocket, my insurance, whatever they get out of me, because he decided to walk through the woods, trespass, and grab an electric fence that was there. So in my mind, it's just like, what do you do? And again, that's why I took to the Facebook. And I got some really creative things. Nothing that I feel is feasible to work, though. So I spent the day kind of racking my brain of what to do and how to do it. Now, the thing about the bum population is the bums communicate with the bums. They're out there being bum buddies, bumming around together, okay? And they share information. So if I simply make it a problem for them to come through my land, then they're not going to come back. Once they start talking like, look, avoid that fucking property. You don't want to go over there, dude. It's a fucking nightmare. Like, do not go over there. All right? They won't come back. And this is how I think I'm going to do this. All right? So if I have somebody coming through my property, there's only really one of two ways they could be coming through. Okay? And the one way has a nice little exit road that pops out on the main road. And that's believed to be where they're coming out at. So this is what I want to do. And this is the tactic I'm taking. I want to add more wireless uploading cameras or potentially Wi-Fi cameras to the property. Scatter them around as far as I can. Try to find a good solution. And I worked on that today as well. And I'll get that to it in a minute. But here's the thing. If I could figure out when people are coming through, I could deal with them immediately in the moment. So if I got to get on the ATV, drive my happy ass down there, tell them to leave, and if they come at me sideways, hit them with some OC, pop a salt round at them, whatever I need to do, they will pass that message along. Don't go over there. That dude's fucking crazy. I got hit in the face with OC when I went over there, and then the sheriff's office was waiting for me on the other side. Like, that's it. I need to know they're there. And trying to know that somebody's coming through your property 1,000 feet away is a big pain in the ass. That's the big problem. So my day more or less continued with trying to figure out solutions. So a camera that I had purchased a while ago that I'm paying a subscription on that I'm not even using currently, I have a Stealth 360 cam. This takes a 360-degree photo. And I'll tell you why this is important right after this break. We'll be right back after these messages.
Hey, Producer Scooter here. First off, thank you for downloading and participating in the wide world of Jester Doom. Please be sure to check out JestersVoice.com website. Everything you want to know is located on JestersVoice.com. If you're looking for salacious details, it's on JestersVoice.com. Don't forget to share the show with your friends and even with all your enemies. And now, back to the musings of Jester Doom.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Doom Daily Show. I'm your host, Jester Dooms, the email doomdailyshow@gmail.com, everywhere on social media at Jester_Dooms. Don't forget to check out the website, www.jestersvoice.com. Like, share, subscribe, and give me my weekly IRL interaction. Okay, so why is the 360 camera important? Okay, so this automatically takes pictures, saves them, and uploads them to a cloud automatically. This camera takes photos 360 degrees. You cannot approach it without being caught on camera. So even if somebody shows up and they steal it, I have their face. I have their image. I have that group. Whatever it is, I have that. Now, obviously, I'm not going to make it easy for these people. So I need to take a trip down to the hardware store and figure out a really good way, a really creative solution to lock this camera down to where it just can't go walking away, to where somebody's actually got to work for it if they want it. All right. That's the plan. Okay. Now, the goal is, in the grand scheme of things, also when I get that notification that someone's, coming through, I can also get that notification and get my ass on an ATV and go down there and run them out. And I'm telling you what, man, a few shotgun rounds at the top of the hill and the ATV starts heading your way, they're going to get the fuck out of Dodge. They're not going to stick around. And sadly, I think that's what it's going to take for people to be like, don't fucking go on that property. Don't you fucking do it. Do not go. Don't do it. Stay away. All right. Now, ideally, what I would like to have, and it's a very simple thought, but it's very hard to execute. What I would like to have would be about a half dozen wireless, solar-powered security cameras that have 360-degree rotation, okay, that are strictly powered by the sun, that run off a Wi-Fi signal, all right, that go to a little cloud that stays up at the house, the end. And I don't need a shit ton. A half a dozen will do me fine, because there's only a handful of areas that I need to hit. Like, there's not many, okay? I basically got 3 points on one side of the property and about 3 points on the other side of the property. That's it. So there's not a lot of spaces that need to be covered. Like I said, half dozen, I'm probably good to go. Because for the bums, there's nothing really appealing about being on my property. It's moving through my property to do fucked up shit on other properties where there is an appeal to be. Okay? So that's the thing. Now, herein lies the problem. The problem is you're talking about scattering Wi-Fi cameras over thousands of feet. All right? Wi-Fi range does not go that far. Okay? That's the problem. So, in the grand scheme of things and what we're trying to do, I think that the solution is going to be to get solar-powered Wi-Fi extenders, okay? And I think the plan, and I've seen them, they're online, they do exist. They look like a solar panel that's got some antennas sticking out of it, and you screw this thing to a tree facing the sun, and boom, that area now has Wi-Fi. And you can basically put these things out like every few hundred feet and just extend that coverage and create a good mesh network around your land. And then boom, are they expensive? Yeah, they're not exactly cheap. But in doing this, you're solving two problems. Your first problem you're solving is your issue with camera and transmitting signal. That has now been taken care of. That part's done, okay? The other kind of bonus of this is this now provides you with Wi-Fi all around the property. This is something that's not really necessary for me unless I'm trying to live stream in the excavator doing something some random place on the property, which I don't do that all that often. But the idea of not having to pay a $60 monthly subscription for 4G LTE security cameras is probably worth it, because I'll probably have more money tied up in subscription fees in the first year than I would one range extender. You get what I'm saying? And now, the beauty of this system, and I'll tell you why this is fantastic. So if you have a wireless security camera up that has two-way talk, you could talk back and forth through it, and you got these things out, and they're connected, and they're doing fine, and you don't have a problem. The cool thing is they give you motion updates and alerts. So you know somebody's there the moment that they're there, and it's automatically recording this person. Now, you also have the benefit of talking back and forth through the camera. So I could look at this person on the camera and say, hey, you are currently trespassing. The sheriff's office has been notified. They are on the way. I have your image. I have a video of you coming through. I can currently see that you're wearing a white t-shirt, blue jeans, and a backwards hat. Like, it's you all day, man. What's your name? What's your name? Where are you going? Why are you out here? What do you have in your hands? And basically, if they start, this fuck you, I'm not leaving, it's all right. Well, don't leave. Stay where you're at. I'll come to you. You let those two shots ring out at the top of the hill, that ATV fires up, and you roll on. And if they're there when you get there and they're willing to start some shit, you do what you need to do. I'm getting sick and tired of good people having to deal with bad problems because bad people aren't being regulated by the good people. If somebody's property is not your property, you don't have rights to come and go through there as you please. And if you are doing that and you're knowingly doing that, then you need to be dealt with. Whether that's hit with some really heavy fines, whether that's a little bit of jail time, something. And I personally, I don't think, like, here's my mentality on this, okay? When it comes to the trespassing, I think it's something that you should not be able to bond out of. I think it should just be there is no bond for trespass. The end. I think that if you get caught trespassing on someone's property, there should automatically be a 24-hour hold on you. Automatically. You can't bond out. So from the time they check you into that jail, you have 24 hours before you can get out. And if it's extended past the release time of that day, you get stuck there a little longer. Oh, well. That's the nature of the beast. And I think that every time moving forward, it should double. So 24 turns into 48, 48 doubles, so on and so forth. To the point where when you get up to a week, you know that the next time you're going in, you're going to do 2 weeks. After that, you know you're going to do a month. After that, you know you're going to do 2 months. After that, you know you're going to do 4. Then you know you're going to do 8. And then you're going to do 16. Because at least at this point, if people are having repeat problems with a certain individual on their land, they know it's only a matter of time before they're going to get a few months of a break or a year-long break or so on and so forth. Okay? I think it should be that simple. I think that penalty should just double each time. It should go up, up, double from what it was before, go up, up, up. And then one of two things happen. Either these guys are going to spend the rest of their days in and out of jail for stupid freaking shit, or they're going to be like, hey, I need to respect this person's property. I need to respect their belongings. I need to respect the law. And that is the end. Does it make sense? We're having the problems we have with the homeless population in my area because the local governments have been too lenient. I've lived other areas where we've had homeless problems, and it's not like this. It's so invasive. It's like feral cats. These guys have entire encampments set up, carpets on the dirt, like fucking, it's insanity. And they know no bounds. Like, they don't care because they know that they're more or less unstoppable. They can come and go with as they please, and the government knows they're not going to get any money out of them, so they don't fuck with them. And it's a very sickening thing to think that I got to pay tax and do all this shit, and then I have to worry about how I'm going to defend what I have against somebody who's doing whatever the fuck they want and they're not contributing. Anyway, so my mission, aside from dealing with the beaver, is now fortifying my property. And with that, we're out of here. Producer Scooter, if you would, hit that button, sir.
News, facts, and opinions. This is the Doom Daily Show.